What's going on, ladies and gents? Rocco Brown here from MyGamingJourney.com, and we are back with another 1v1 ranked match on the 1v1 ladder, of course, and I am facing off against another English opponent. Now, I want to apologize in advance because I feel like y'all are seeing nothing but English games, and I swear it's not on purpose. It's just all of my opponents keep picking English, to say the least. All right. So with that being said, if you are new here, I am gold 3 currently at the time of this recording. I am primarily a House of Lancaster main. I do play some English. I can play a little bit of Japanese and a little bit of Ottoman, but primarily I play House of Lancaster. And the purpose of these games is to simply showcase my progress because I am trying to get better, slowly but surely. So naturally, any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Just make sure the comments remain respectful and make sure they remain on topic. But if you have any tips or tricks to help me improve, please by all means feel free to post them below. So let's dive into the game and let's go from there. And we're going to look at it together. So I like to open up by moving all of my villagers over to sheep, and then the next 3 I rally over to gold, and then I rally the remaining villagers onto sheep until I'm able to age up. So naturally, I got a nice little position for my Lancaster castle. So that is the plan of action, to open with the Lancaster castle because I'm able to secure 2 golds, 1 stone. So nice for me in that regard. Definitely happy about that, to say the least. So making my way down, grabbing some sheep, and then come down and see what my opponent may or may not be doing and see what we can, find out from here. Now, naturally, not expecting much this early on, so I'm not expecting any real telltales. With me being a gold 3 player, I do not have pro base knowledge, so for example purposes, if someone of a higher skill level per se may see, we'll just say 4 on gold instead of 2 on gold, you know what I mean? That may be a little bit more knowledge that he or she is able to gain from that. For me, everything looks pretty standard early on, with the exception if I see somebody going like math stone. Naturally, I'm not expecting you to be able to do a lot with stone before you can go up to age 2, but you get my point. I'm just saying that for example purposes. So here we are, 11 workers so far, out and about, 7 on food, 3 on gold, and I'm just rallying around and getting some sheep. So when I saw my opponent do this, I'm like, okay, ideally he's a little bit further out than he should be. Naturally, as English, I'm not mad at trying to get the actual deer early on, but I'm like, okay, maybe I can actually do something and punish this. That's kind of the thought process at this point in time, but I'm like, he's a little bit too far out on the map to not have anything, to defend that. And I'm like, maybe I can do a little something, and we will see what happens, right? So that was my thought process. Naturally, we're watching this game together. I don't remember what occurred during this game, but we are going to see together. But just seeing that at that time, I do remember. I'm like, he's being a little bit too far forward, to say the least, with no kind of defense at all. So, walked away with a decent chunk of sheep. My Lancaster castle's going up right now. Still collecting sheep, as we can see, which is always good. Current split, 3 on food, 4 on wood, 3 on stone. And then I'm rallying the remainder onto wood at this point in time. So Lancaster castle's about a quarter way to completion at this point in time. I'm going to drop off the sheep. I don't remember if I go directly over to my opponent's base again, or if I'm just scouting and getting a little bit more visibility on the map. But we're looking pretty decent so far. So I've basically secured 3 resources, which is good, with 1 building, which is even better. Don't really need too much production at this point in time because the Lancaster castle, along with the manor, should be able to secure what I need. And this is what we're looking at right now. So saw 3 sacreds. Want to get an idea of what my opponent is aging up with because I didn't know what he was going up with at the time. And I'm like, okay, I have a king that's going to do something, right? If anything. So he's getting a decent amount of deer at this point. His food income I know is probably amazing. 'Cause that's a decent chunk of people over on deer. So now I'm just going back to scout inside of his base once again just to see if there's anything else that is occurring. I'm immediately going to drop a manor, and I believe I drop it up by the stone. Yeah. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And now I'm just continuing to scout around a little bit, see what my opponent may or may not be doing. No age up on his end as of yet. Want to stay outside of the range of that TC and see if he has anything beyond that Abbey of Kings. So, nothing too crazy, y'all. Up to 8 on stone. I'm rallying now over to gold. I'm going to try, if I remember correctly, to at least get 3 manors up before I actually start doing any sort of production. Because I know the king is going to be coming, but I know naturally he's not going to be able to do much with my resources, right? As far as actually getting any kind of damage done between having manors around my stone and my gold. So in my mind at this point, the most he'll be able to do is going to be the wood. And I'm like, I think I can actually block that off as well and get that situated. It's my thought process. So, no pressure on my end as of yet. I know the king is about to come out. I didn't end up getting out any demi-lancers. I thought that was going to be what I ended up going with. But I'm guessing I was just trying to maintain my own build, right? Sometimes you can get caught up with trying to do certain things and reacting that you lose what your plan of action was. So I think my thought process this game was, let me just stick to what I had in mind. I know he's going for deer, but let me just stick to my plan of action. And I think that's what ended up taking place. So you see, I did wall up the back and the side. So now he has no way, and that was my thought process. I wasted a little bit of wood, and it slowed down, my manors at this point. But this stops that king from coming anywhere. So that's where we're at right now. That's my thought process. So I have enough manors basically to cover everything, right? 2 over on the stone side, 1 over on the gold side, and then of course the tower itself will act as the go-to with everything. So I'm like, okay, good. Let me move these back. That's the chase down. We'll go inside. And boom. King is down. Cool beans. I'm like, alright, that's not a bad pick off. I didn't lose anything. Structure-wise, we're looking good. And I'm like, let me scout a little bit more just to see if he's committing to anything or going anywhere to do anything. And now I'm just dropping down an additional manors, right? I'm like, it looks like I'm gonna go up to 6 before I try to age. And I'm like, oh, he's trying to white tower rush me, right? So I'm like, very good look, right? Like, I'm not mad. He's 7 minutes and 30 seconds in. So I'm like, all right, I need to pull stuff. We need to pull stuff immediately, right? That's a lot of workers. I'm like, I can't afford to just allow things to just go down like this, y'all. So I wish these workers would have swung around there initially, but they did not, unfortunately. So we're knocking off some workers, right? Let me just really quickly, so I want to get an idea of how many we might be. 10 workers. I can't look at his workers. That's what I want to see. Oh, we're putting them down. Definitely putting them down. But it looks like this white tower goes up, unfortunately. So this is where things definitely, I'm like, alright, let me get up out of here now. White Tower rushes, never fun, as all of us are probably aware. And I lost quite a few workers myself, unfortunately. But I did get a lot more of his out the way, right? So, like, alright, I gotta go up myself, and we gotta figure it out. So, I'm not, at this point in time, we're moving these workers over, the ones who are going out of the way. I'm like, I need to find more wood, right? Because I can't get my wood line over here. I probably could have just took this wood line, to be honest. But, in my mind at the time, out of the way just seemed like a better play, right? So, I'm looking for wood. Unfortunately, I'm not finding anything as of yet. I'm like, I gotta get more workers back on the gold as well, because I need to go up. And I know I did a lot of damage to him, right? So, I'm like, we're not terrible off at that point in time, but I found some wood to play with. I'm like, okay, cool. We're in business at this point. And I'm like, now I just gotta get enough to age up to 3 myself, so we don't fall behind and lose this game. So, King is trying to make his way out. I got 5 on gold, 11 on wood, 13 on food. Putting up a few more manors. Feeling kind of comfortable at this point in time, y'all. So I'm like, let me try to secure my wood over there. And let me just try to keep extending my lead, to say the least. A few more manors up, gold down, cool. So we almost have enough gold for age 3 on this end. How many workers does he have at this point? So right now I'm at 30 myself, right? How many workers does he have? He's at 17. So I'm trying to do the good old White Tower nonsense. And I'm like, what's the plan of action here, buddy? Now I'm like, I gotta rush and get a lot more gold up, because I have a decent chunk of food at this point. I'm like, this is what we are going to do. Just keep playing that. Go. Stop him from trying to come back for a second or two. And then boom. It's like, no, we're not doing that. Looks like this is kind of how this game plays out from here, right? Then boom. So now, we're not doing too bad, yeah. So at this stage, I dropped down another manor. We're still looking pretty decent. 33 workers on my end, 22 on his end. I have not been building villagers, it looks like, right? Because I've been at, what, 30 for a minute now? This pressure's kind of keeping me, I don't want to say thrown off, but just trying to extend my multitasking, to say the least. So now I'm like, alright, let me get out Siege Workshop and let me get ready to start sieging stuff down myself, along with some horses. And I'm like, I should be pretty decent in that regard. Still over here on my wood line, this wood line I should say, which isn't bad. I'm like, this is what we need just to get the siege done. And we got Siege Workshop coming down. So I'm like, alright. We should be pretty good. Like now, we'll just start cooking that, right? I'm like, okay. Bring old life that no longer does any kind of real damage to siege, y'all, which is crazy to me. Crazy. Pull these back. Like, unfortunately, that's not doing what I needed to do. So, 6 banners. Isn't the worst. Dropping siege. And this was the thought process. So good, bad, or indifferent. This is what I decided to go with and do. Like, okay, this is what he has taken place. Let me go, and then they got up out of there. So proud of my performance in that regard. I don't normally respond very well to White Tower rushes, not only just raids in general. I was happy that I scouted things early enough, and I was active scouting that I was able to actually have eyes on when he decided to move across. Because had he come across, got that White Tower up, and not lost as many workers as he did, I would have really been in trouble. Because he would have been able to really mass produce not only trebs, but he would have been able to mass produce battering rams. And that would have got really ugly for me. So I knocked out, I'll say, if I remember correctly, at least 12, 13 workers. And then when his White Tower went up, maybe more. And when his White Tower actually went up, I ended up losing only like 5 or 6 when I was running away, which was nice. So we did pretty decently in the grand scheme of things, right? Now the problem that let's talk about. So let's finish the rest of the pros, right? As I mentioned, scouting was good that game, something I normally struggle with, and I say good up until it was good up until the White Tower rush discovery, and then I didn't have any real scouting behind that, right? Like I was basically in my base, preoccupied with the attack and defense on trying to deal with that White Tower, right? So scouting was good up until a point. What else? Not losing a lot of villagers, I believe, was decent to a point, and microing villagers, dealing with the battering ram, as to that was coming from the White Tower, getting those out the way, moving back to base, getting them out the way, and not actually dying, you know what I mean, to the White Tower, trying to get battering rams out the way. So I think my micro was decent in that regard. What else? I think it was smart for me to get those siege workshops and start pumping out springolds and traps, right? Along with my own set of battering rams that I really didn't get a chance to really use yet, right? But y'all saw I was actually moving those over to the White Tower. So those would be the pros that potentially come to mind. Cons, I should be way ahead in villager production, right? Getting so caught up and focused on the attacking and defending slowed me down in more ways than one. So that's a very big con that I struggle with even to this day in time. Just villager production, remembering to build villagers, right? Like I'm always building something. I think we all might be always building something. In other words, I may forget to build villagers, but I'm building army units, right? But that's still no good because villagers have to be built as well. So it's not like I'm just idle and not building anything, right? My villager production slacked, but I was building springolds, trebs, and battering rams. Great in theory, but with the amount of damage I did, I should be a lot further ahead, right, than 11 workers, to say the least. Um, what else? Probably more production buildings as well. Like I got a decent chunk of. I think I had 3 siege workshops and 3 stables because my thought process was the stables and the horses and the knights would probably do a lot more damage to the battering rams, is what he's going to continue to try to push with. So my thought process was springolds, trebs, and knights, but I didn't end up getting out any knights, right? But I probably could have mixed in some archers, not so much archery ranges and barracks. Not so much for the archers themselves because he wasn't going to be producing anything like that out of there, but just to have that production as a whole, right? Just to have, everything that I needed in the event that I needed to produce those units. What else? What else? What else? What else? I probably could have went up a lot sooner. Not even probably, right? Like it took me too long to go to 3 myself. Um, after he hit 3, right? Even though I was in a favorable position, I could have went up a lot sooner, and I should have went up a lot sooner. Um, is there anything else I'm missing that comes to mind? No, those is kind of the pros and the cons and things that I think I need to work on. Um, moving forward, things to take away from this game, to say the least. I could say relics, and because I know he wasn't doing any relics. Relics and actually getting monks out to pick those up, but my micro is not, and my multitasking wouldn't. I'm not at a level enough to been able to knock that out, right? To say the least. I was so focused on, for me, it may not look like a dire situation for y'all, but in that game, I remember I was like panicking at that time, right? White Tower right next to me, units produce a lot quicker out of the White Tower, even though he lost a lot of workers. Like, these are things that I just don't have the multitasking ability currently to go down that route. So the relics would have been nice. I would say that that's another con, right? With being age 3, but I was so focused on, like, I'm just trying not to die. I know I'm ahead. I know I'm ahead. I know I'm ahead. I can close out this game. Let me not be fancy, and not saying that the relics would be fancy, right? It would definitely add more free resources for me from a gold standpoint, but I just couldn't fit that into my multitasking ability, to say the least, right? So now they're here nor there. So with that being said, ladies and gents, that's kind of my takeaways for this game. Hopefully, the next game isn't an English game, because it seems like these last couple have been. But nonetheless, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Feel free to like, follow, share, subscribe. Definitely leave your comments in the comments section below. Any tips, tricks, anything that you would advise on how to get better, any critiques, etc. Just make sure your comments remain respectful and on topic, right? In addition to that, check out the mygamingjourney.com, right? I am live over on Twitch and Kick. You can watch the live streams right on mygamingjourney.com/live stream. You will see it over there. I try to go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You'll see the schedule there as well. And yeah, man, until next time, God willingly, we can do this again. I'll talk to each and every one of you soon, and I appreciate y'all. Take care.